Hey guys, so Drake, my friend Drake, he posted something on Facebook, and it was what is a lie and why is a lie bad? And I think it's really interesting, and this was actually coming up coincidentally with some friends recently, and they were talking about their kids lying and kind of how to handle that, or like how to address it with them or talk to them about it. So I thought it was really relevant, that it's like right there in our space right now. So I was thinking about it, and kind of like before I listened to a video that Drake posted about it, I was thinking of a lie as a shortcut. Basically, it's a place where we try to take a shortcut, and typically in my experience, shortcuts are not beneficial unless you have like a real clear understanding of what's included in the shortcut and what's not going to happen by taking the long route. And that you have a full understanding of the consequences of it. So like in my day-to-day job, there are places where I take shortcuts all the time. And in some ways, like you could say that there's a lie embedded in that, because, like for example, if I'm creating a rendering of a building, and I want to, and there's some detail in the distance that's not really relevant to the rendering, then I could kind of brush over it or fuzz it out, so it's not so recognizable, so that I don't have to focus on that detail, and really just like let that go. Now, some might argue that it's not really lying, right? Like you're actually just creating a context, or you're creating a focus within the rendering, so that it's not drawing your attention elsewhere, which would be fine. Right? So maybe that's accurate, but I think maybe something more relevant would be like if it's a detail that's close and it doesn't exactly match what's there or what's intended, but it's just kind of slapped together to give the illusion of some kind of detail there, then the illusion part of it is the lie, right? So without judgment, right? It's just trying to understand like what is a lie, right? So in the context of it being a shortcut, that would be an example. Other examples that are different would be like, and specifically thinking about our kids, and because my friends were talking about this recently, like if there's things that we tell our children that are just simply not true. I mean, a good example of that is something like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy or something like that. They're just not true, right? And at some point, our kids grow up and they realize, like, okay, that's not true. And, was it worth it to them to have that, to have their parents lie to them about something like that for the quote-unquote fun of the fantasy of it, the imagination of it? And I would argue that no, that it erodes the trust, because what it lays the groundwork for is other inconsistencies, other places where it actually counts to tell the truth, or to have a deeper understanding and at least admit that we don't know, and then explain that to our children. Right, so that we actually build trust with them. We are constantly, like in all of our relationships, we are either building trust or eroding at it. So if we, to go back to this idea of the shortcut, if we're taking a shortcut, in other words, like creating a scenario that's kind of easy for them to create some imagination, some energy around it, some excitement, things like that, instead of looking at where in actual reality we can find something of interest as a shortcut, or dealing with a situation where they're losing their teeth, right? Their baby teeth are falling out, and their adult teeth are on their way in, and actually, like, dealing with whatever situation that the tooth fairy is designed to, bypass, basically. So, I think that, and then, now to Drake's point is that, what I really liked about what he said, and where I think that this is aligned with this idea of a shortcut, is that a lie is essentially a place where the information does not align with reality. So, and it could be that, we're totally unaware that that's the case, right? So it's not, again, no moral judgment about it, but like, the lie in and of itself could be something that we're not aware of, right? So like maybe we become aware of it later, and then we can see it for what it is, but in the moment, maybe we don't have a full understanding of that, or can say that, yes, maybe we understand this doesn't align with reality, and we choose it anyway. But it's basically where the information does not align with reality. Now, I think where it becomes, to kind of Drake's question about like why is a lie bad? I think that when we consciously choose that, then that's where it becomes bad, right? Or we, again, not moral, but like, where you choose to lie to somebody because it's easier, right, to not actually deal with the situation, or you choose to lie because it's more comfortable. It keeps people in ignorance, right, and so you're, again, like, just more comfortable. Then that's where the lie becomes bad. Again, it's a place where it does not align with reality, and I would argue that we generally, like, we want our words, we want our thoughts, we want our communication to be a clear reflection of reality. We actually strive for that, whether or not we're conscious of it or not. If you think about a movie like The Matrix, right, where there was this idea that there's a truth that is unknowable while you're within the Matrix, but you can know it if you're willing to look, right? And it was kind of like this, whoa, wait, are we living in the Matrix? There's this compelling interest to understand reality, or in the last, well, I don't know how many years, many years, truth. Right? What does that really mean? I think that we are consciously or unconsciously compelled for that, to understand our world, our reality, ourselves, right? So, and I think that if we consciously choose a lie, then we distance ourselves from that pursuit, and we can cloud that, or waylay somebody else's opportunity to get closer to that truth or reality, or accurate reflection. So, what is a lie? Why is a lie bad? I think that a lie is a shortcut, either deliberate or not, and it's a muddling of reality. It's a lack of information that does not actually reflect physical reality. And why is it bad? Because of the consequence of not actually truly understanding either the necessary information, or the consequence of not taking the long, thorough route. So those are my thoughts on what is a lie.